You got a full belly? Did you enjoy that? Hey, kia ora. Just thought I'd give you a quick update on our our hot situation. So, I was going backwards and forwards with some of the people on Fleetwood Bounder about what the problem could be, and some of them suggested cleaning the coils and all of that. And so I was watching some videos on it and thought, I don't even have any of the equipment. I can unscrew the tops. I have my Phillips head screwdriver, but everything else you need, I don't have. So I was sitting here and I was thinking, what else can I do? I could ask some other people, but again, I didn't know what sort of tools and stuff that they had. And then so I got the bright idea as I called the office, because here at this park, they have an on-site RV tech, which is kind of handy. And but I'd missed him. He actually left around 3:30, 4 o'clock this afternoon. But Steve, who is the manager / owner here, told me what to do. So he said, take your AC thingy off, take the ACs off auto, which is what I usually have them on, set them for 78 degrees and put them on so the fans stay on high the entire time. So the AC is running at high at, with a low of 7 going down to 78 degrees. And he said, because the sun's due to go down by 7 o'clock, and he said, once the sun goes down, everything will start cooling down. And he said, by then, the AC unit will also kick in and start putting out cold air. He said, now it's quite possible the coils do need cleaning. And anyone know when I'd last cleaned the filters? And I said, about an hour ago. So the filters are cleaned. And he said, did you run them under the water? I said, yes, I definitely ran them under the water, squeezed out all the excess water and everything else, which basically dried them, so put them back in again. But he's going to have the RV tech come by first thing in the morning and to have a look at the coils. But he said, leave it set at 78 overnight. Don't let the fans go. Make sure the fans are set on high the entire time. And he said, but it comes 7 o'clock, the air will start cooling down, everything else. He said, what the problem is because I wasn't running the ACs while driving, when I plugged in, the ACs have already been sitting for 4 hours in the hot sun, even though we were driving along the road and everything else. So you can actually run your ACs while driving if you have the generator running. And the generator only uses like a quarter of a gallon every hour, based on how much you're drawing on the amperage. So for the 4-hour drive, it would have been a gallon of gas. And I said, yeah, we've got an issue with that one. But so he said it'll start cooling down. He says you'll notice that once the sun gets off the vehicles, that the air coming out of the ACs will start being a little cooler. He says now it's quite possible, because of all the different conditions and everything that you've been going through with the dirt and all with dust and all that sort of stuff, that the coils do need cleaning. So he's going to have the RV tech stop by tomorrow morning around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and he'll get up on the roof and have a look at my coils and see if they need cleaning, and then I just pay for his labor, and it's less than an hour work to get that done. So, and this is an on-site tech, so that'll be good. But he said once the coils are running correctly and effectively, he says, even though you'll be sitting in the sun all day, if we've got the cold air running through everything before it gets too hot, then it should stay comfortable all day. And Zephy's still panting. I've been making her drink. Like I bring the water bowl to her and stick it between her feet and go, drink. And she sort of like looks at it, sniffs at it. That takes a couple of laps and that's it. So I've been putting water on her nose and she doesn't like when I do that. And I even got water on her belly, under her armpits, to try and help cool her down a little bit as well, but she didn't like that either. And as soon as I started doing that again, she took off. But she's just sat down and had something to eat, so she must be feeling a little better, and we will go for a walk shortly, maybe after 7 o'clock when the sun's gone down. And it starts cooling off, but it actually got to 107 outside today, and they said the max today would be 105. So somebody got something wrong somewhere along the line. But yeah, so that's what's happening. We will keep you guys posted. So it'll be an interesting night, because I don't sleep well in temperatures above 70. I don't sleep well. I like my temperatures in the 50s and the 60s to get a good night's sleep. But that's okay if it works. If it gets the and he said the other reason he said to set the fan on high and not low is if I set the fan on low, I could end up freezing my AC units. And he said, so make sure you keep the fans on high. So take them off auto, put them on high, and set it for 78, and you should be good for the night. So we will see how it goes, and I'll report back tomorrow morning with how everything went. But now we have the sun directly on the front because I can actually see it coming through a little gap. So I've got to find a way to seal that gap off. But I'll worry about that tomorrow. This piece here is just, the piece on the windscreen is just standing there. It's not attached to anything, only because it's such a big piece, although it does have, I don't know if you can see the big bow it's got right there, but I actually still have the old, you can't quite see it, but over here you can see the screen that I normally have up there, but this one is behind it. It's got a good air pocket behind it, because if you've got the 2 layers of reflectix, they suggest having an air pocket between them. So it's definitely got an air pocket between them, and it makes them run more efficiently, supposedly. This window here, I still haven't put the reflectix on it because it's not getting the direct sun while we're here. And if I did that, somebody might get a little upset that she can't lay and look out the window. But in the RV, the back of it is facing east. Driver's side is south. Front is west. So the passenger side behind me, where the door is and everything, is all north facing, which means we won't have any issues with it. Might get a little bit when the sun comes up in the morning, depending on the angle of the east. So since it's hitting the driver's corner more, we may get it coming in through these windows first thing in the morning. But at that hour of the morning, it's usually not windy. So we'll put the awning out, and that will protect that whole side there, including the vent for the refrigerator, because if the vent area is too hot, the refrigerator keeps running and it can overheat and end up blowing circuits and all that sort of stuff. So I tell you, it's fun and games just learning about RV life and all that sort of stuff. So when I get back to San Diego, I'm going to have to learn how to clean my coils and figure out what equipment I need to do that. For when I need to do it on the road, because they recommend you should do it once a year, especially if you're living full-time and if you've been in dusty locations. So, but if I've been in dusty locations, I might need to do it a little more often than once a year. But we'll see, because I could end up using that equipment on other things as well. But it's one of those yearly maintenance things that you need to do. And they say if you have the thing in storage, then maybe once every 2 years. But if you're in a lot of dry, dusty conditions and you're living full time, then at least once a year. So yeah, I'll have to figure that out. And what else Carolyn got here? I love watching your hair grow. You look beautiful. Oh, thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate that. I haven't seen you guys in like eons. And so yeah, it's getting... I actually have a hair appointment scheduled for Tuesday next week, which is the day I arrive back I'll be in, where am I going to be? Menifee. So I'll be back in the San Diego area-ish type of. And that's I'm supposed to have a haircut, so I'm actually going to move that appointment. I've got to figure out how to get down to where the hairstylist is, because she's in Poway. I'm going to be in Menifee. It's about an hour drive. So I'm hearing popping, but I know there's a lot of people coming back from being on the river, from ATVing, and all that sort of stuff too. So they may be cleaning out engines, and of course you can't really hear them over the noise of the AC units in here, which is another good reason that you have the AC units running at night, because it's cuts out a lot of any noise that's going on. Although this park is pretty quiet, except for first thing in the morning when people are prepping their engines for the day. Like you'll get those running the ATV engines, checking over everything, and some of them are really, really loud because of the exhaust and all of that, the exhaust systems. And then you get those checking out their jet skis and their jet engines on the boats and all that sort of stuff. That's jet engines. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. I got buzzed today by the military jets. I don't know which military it was. I was coming around the 303 on through Phoenix there, coming around the 303 loop, and all of a sudden I see these 2 fighter jets up ahead of me, and I'm like, ooh, where did they come from? And then I see another one suddenly appear in the air, and I'm like, oh, there's a base around here somewhere, and I couldn't find anywhere to pull over to watch them. I was so upset because I couldn't find anywhere to pull over and watch the jets flying around. And then as I'm driving past there where I'd seen them suddenly pop up from, I'm hearing them flying, like it almost sounded like they were buzzing me over here because they were just taking off, and one of them actually took off, and he did a very steep incline, like straight away. And it kind of reminded me of them going off like an aircraft carrier. So they come off and they go do a very steep incline to get away from the ships and stuff, so they can get out of the way for the next plane that has to take off. But yeah, so I could hear them buzzing over me for about the next 5 to 10 minutes, and there was nowhere to pull over and watch them. So I just had to enjoy the sound of the jets going overhead, and I was just sort of, oh, that feels good. And then Carolyn says, I would love to catch up. Don't cut it too short. No, I'm kind of liking it this length. I'm definitely going to get it thinned out later, because look how much there is. There's a lot of hair there. This has not been, well, the length of it has not been cut since January. And I did have, after I hacked my bangs, when I was staying at my friend Chrisline's house, she does hair and makeup for her photography that she does. She does amazing rockabilly and pin-up poster photography as well, vintage photography as well as, so like if you think of the pin-ups from the 1940s and stuff, where they had the pin-up art on the nose of the planes, that's the sort of photography that she does, that era. And she also does boudoir photography as well, so she does all the hair and makeup. So she sat me down and tidied up my hack job so it all blended and looked a little layered, but it definitely needs to be thinned out. So I may keep it this length and just get it thinned out, but it's starting to get annoying here at the front again. Oh, Kathy Blitz is on. Oh my gosh, girl, I haven't seen you in, 10 years? Wow, in over 10 years. Great to see you on here as well. Oh my gosh, these are people that I used to work with in Marriott. I miss my Marriott days at times. I definitely miss my peeps from Marriott, because I had some great people that I worked with. They were awesome. Loved working with the people that I worked with in Marriott. I had a great time there. Had a good 10 years with them, so it was awesome. But anyway, I'm out of here. I'm going to go take Zeffy for... Do you want to go for a walk, Zeph? Let's see. Going to go for a walk? It looked like, what do you think? I've got a full belly. I'm laying here. I'm in a breeze. Do I really want to get up and go for a walk? Nah, probably not. We'll wait till the sun goes down, huh? Yeah. So when the sun goes down, we will go for a walk, take her back down to the dog park again so she can go running around and everything else. But anyway, I'm out of here. This feels like it's starting to get a little cooler already. So have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys tomorrow morning for, what's tomorrow? It's Winning Wednesday tomorrow. Yes, love Winning Wednesdays. Hope you had a great Tune Up Tuesday. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. He konera.